And my name is Caitlin. And this is WGHT. Today on WGHT, we're going to have Michael with landslides,
Tyler with 3D printers, Maddie with an interview with Mr. Bolio,
Josh with why hockey is such a segregated sport,
Malia with an interview with Mrs. Brown on Battle of the Books, Caitlin with a story on Simone Biles.
Last but not least, we have Savannah with cyberbullying. Now we have Michael with landslides.
Thanks, Caitlin. Landslides are catastrophic natural disasters that destroy anything in its path, devastating homes of innocent people. Landslides are deadly because the slide has debris and fast-moving mud that can reach a speed of 35 miles per hour. Landslides, or mudslides, can cause upwards of $3.5 billion in damage every year. Landslides can happen anywhere if there's a steep hill and vast amount of rain. Rain, as we all know, causes dirt to turn to mud, and in large quantities, the mud begins to flow down the hill. Also, scientists are researching and creating maps to see where landslides happen most often, because when created, the map will save lives. In 2011, Rio de Janeiro had a landslide that took 600 lives. Another landslide happened in 1980 when Mount St. Helens erupted and created a landslide that was the biggest ever. All the debris could fill 250 million dump trucks. October 2017, tourists spotted cracks in Washington's Rattlesnake Ridge. Many experts think there's a possibility of a collapse mid-March or April 2018. It might impact the 6,000 plus citizens of Union Gap. Landslides, deadly and dangerous natural disasters. Back to you, Savannah.
I didn't know what landslides were, but now I do.
I learned a lot too.
Next, we have Tyler with 3D printers.
Thanks, Savannah. 3D printers are getting better, crazier, and faster than ever. Some people are even printing houses now. The first 3D printed house was in northern Amsterdam, the Netherlands. The finished product would be a 13-room canal house. Did you know 3D printed houses can be printed and assembled on site? So it's a very efficient and very practical way of building. Another house was also printed in Russia while the printer was on a showcase. Now, here is a brief history of the 3D printer. The first 3D printer was created in 1979 by Chuck Hull. It printed objects by shooting an ultraviolet laser into photopolymer, which turns solid once a UV laser hits the polymer. When you think of 3D printers, you think melted plastic on a 3D coordinate grid. But there are other types of 3D printers. Another type is one that uses resin or other polymers that are instantly hardened by a laser. Chuck Hull in 1986 also commercialized 3D printers when he created 3D Systems, a 3D printer company. Did you know there are organs that were 3D printed that were successfully implanted to a human? Many organs such as skin, blood, and bladders have been printed. The organs are often printed with your own cells. The organs act like your regular organs because they are not made of plastic or metal. They are organic matter. The future of 3D printers is endless for medical and personal use. A Belgian chocolatier turned to a 3D printer for the Easter rush of candy making. Did you know 3D printers can be used for food too? In Italy, there are vending machines that make you 3D printed pizzas with dough, sauce, cheese, then bake it. There are also machines that cook 3D printed designs with pancake mix on a hot pan. From a laser shooting resin in 1979 to printing a house, 3D printing has come a long way in 39 years. Back to you, Caitlin.
I never knew that 3D printers were so cool.
I didn't know you can make food with 3D printers too. Next, we have Maddie with an interview with Mr. Bolio.
Thanks, Savannah. This is WGHT. Today I'm here with Mr. Bolio. Mr. Bolio is one of the Londonderry School District employees who helps us produce and makes most of our programs for the Londonderry School District. I appreciate you answering a couple fun facts. Could you tell us and our viewers today how long you have been working at the Londonderry School District?
I've been here for about 18 years. Most of those years I was part-time. I came on about 6 years ago or 7 years ago full-time. So I've been here for 18 total years.
Do you mind telling us a little bit about your background in history and television?
Sure. I started out working for television stations, and there was one in Boston, and I worked on a television program called Miller's Court. It was a television show about laws, and it was like a court trial. Then I went and I worked at another television station and worked the newscasts. And the newscasts we did every night at 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock. It was in Derry, New Hampshire. Then I started working sports events, basketball, and the Celtics and the Bruins games. I was part of that production crew. Then I started to work at Rockingham Park doing the horse races, filming them and putting them on TV. And then I also did the Manchester Monarchs. I did the in-house show that when people went to the hockey games, they would basically see on the Jumbotron what's going on in the arena and during the game. And I also worked at Londonderry schools. And what we do here is we create programs, education programs for Channel 21, the local cable access channel, and also curriculum ideas like newscasts. We do a newscast, which we're doing right now. So does that answer your question about a little about my history?
Yes, it does.
Great.
What is your favorite part about your job you have been working at?
Definitely the people. The people I work with. You work with administrators, you work with the students, and you work with the teachers. And it's really fun to work with so many different people. It changes every day and every week, and it's not a set schedule. I'm all over the place. Tomorrow night I'll be doing the Palace Theater for the play here at North School. A lot of different people is a really fun atmosphere to work in.
What did you study in college, and what were your plans?
Okay, well, I went to Emerson College in Boston, and my plans back then was to make music videos. But they weren't really making music videos at that time. It was very new. So I really didn't get into that. I did a few, but not really. I worked with the band Aerosmith once, and I did a video with them. But that was a long time ago, too. My college at Emerson really prepared me to be a television person and working in the industry. It really prepared me really well, I thought. We had a lot of hands-on experience, and Emerson is known still today as one of the top schools to go to.
Last but not least, do you have any tips for our viewers who might be interested in having a career in television?
Say that again, please, and put the mic.
Last but not least, do you have any tip for our viewers who might be interested in having a career in television?
Yeah, probably the most important one is do it early and as often. Do productions, TV productions. Today, you really have lots of good opportunities with computers. Computers really have opened up the editing process for any age. You can even start in middle school and high school and really do some really nice videos. And schooling, pick a school that's right for you. Most schools now, most colleges have a media program. So that's a really good opportunity. When I went to school, we didn't have that many schools that were doing broadcast and media. But that's about the only tip I can give you.
What plans do you have for the future of the Londonderry School Districts?
Well, I think really for the district, we try to do more and more project-based learning experiences like the newscast in the curriculum that we're trying to adopt school-wide, because the media skills that you get, like doing interviews and that stuff, is really important. And we're also trying to expand our YouTube channels and our YouTube presence with sports. We're doing a lot with sports now. We're doing lacrosse, we're doing football, we're doing basketball, and we're giving these opportunities for students to get involved in those things.
It sure does sound like Mr. Bully has an enormous amount of work to do. It was an honor having you here today, and wow, did I learn a lot. Again, I would like to say thank you for taking time out of your very busy day. This is Maddie from WGHT. Back to you, Savannah.
Sounds like he has a very big job.
Sounds like a fun job, too. Now we have Josh with why hockey is such a segregated sport.
It's Caitlin. Hockey has always been a segregated sport. In 2015, when the Chicago Blackhawks won their third Stanley Cup, thousands of fans took to the streets to celebrate. When asked, one fan commented, "This sounds messed up, but the Blackhawks even got black people loving hockey." Historically, hockey has been dominated by white people, which could appear segregated. Only 5% of the NHL is black, whereas according to NPR, 67% of the NFL is black, 77% of the NBA is black. According to 2017 Racial and Gender Report Card, the MLB has a total of 42.5% players of color. According to blackdemographics.com, the median income for black American families is $20,000 a year, less than national median income for white American families. Historically, hockey has been an expensive sport. According to Global News, the average cost to play youth hockey is $5,500 per season. Registration fees and travel expenses are an additional cost. Families with lower national median income currently have different options to become involved in this sport. Sharing or donating equipment, scholarships, and skate rentals have increased the diversity of the sport. Now hockey is changing and becoming fair for everyone, no matter the color or culture. Back to you, Savannah.
Now I know a lot more about hockey. Thanks, Josh.
So many people want to play hockey but can't because it's so expensive. Next we have Malia with an interview with Mrs. Brown on Battle of the Books.
Hi, my name is Malia, and today I have North School's reading teacher, Mrs. Brown, here to talk about Battle of the Books. So this year, all three schools are battling against each other in the 2018 Battle of the Books. So let's get started. Whose idea was it to do Battle of the Books, and what year did they think of doing it?
As far as I know, it started in the 1990s with our reading teacher back then was Mrs. Sharon Cullivan, and the librarian was Lenny Ogden, and they actually started the Battle of the Books with 4th and 5th graders. 3rd grade didn't start until much later. As far as I know, I think the rules and the structure and how we run it is pretty much the same. The battle books have pretty much changed, and the questions, of course, but everything else is about the same way that they did when they set it up.
What goes into choosing the certain books that you pick?
When we start selecting different books to add to the battles, we look first to Newbery books, different honor books. We look on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles for positive reviews. Some of the books that we choose are classics and some of them are new. We also get recommendations from teachers and students. That's how we got the book Ugly this year. A student recommended it. We also want to make sure that there's different genres for everyone's taste, and the different readabilities are suitable for everyone. We want to make sure that all students are able to read several of the books, not just our good readers.
How do you come up with the questions?
Well, as you know, they all start with "in what book?" And so they have to be factual questions. They can't be questions that could fit 2 or 3 books. So most of the questions are, in what book did this happen or that happen? And they're usually those right there questions.
What is your favorite part about Battle of the Books?
I love the Battle of the Books. It's my favorite time of year. It's like Christmas. So I love it because the kids are excited and they all like the battle. Sometimes I get stopped in the beginning of the school year asking me, Mrs. Brown, what books are we going to have? When is the battle going to start? So it's very exciting. I like that students are exposed to different types of genre. They're exposed to different authors and different types of books. Maybe they didn't think they liked science fiction, but after they read one of the science fiction books, then they get turned on by that and they say, oh, I want to read more science fiction books. I also like that they're working together as a team. It's a team competition. It's not just a solitary activity, so I like that they're all working together as a team. It's exciting.
This will be the first year North School will battle the other Londonderry elementary schools. How difficult does that make it for you to organize?
It was a little bit, it took a lot of planning, but because we were all excited about doing it, it was fun. We had the idea last year about doing it, so we started planning this fall with the other reading teachers from the other schools. We picked out the books that we really wanted, and then we had to develop new questions because a lot of the books are different than they have been in the past. We also, we were going to have the battle at one of the schools, but then Mr. Dutton had the brilliant idea about having it at the middle school. That way, no one team had an unfair advantage of being the home team. And we thought that was a brilliant idea. So we contacted Mr. Zakili and came up with a date that worked for him and a date that worked for all the 5th grade teachers. And so that's how we did it.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Brown. Stay tuned on YouTube to watch the next 2018 Battle of the Books. Who will win? Go North School.
Thank you.
Back to you, Caitlin.
Wow, I never knew there was so much background information behind the Battle of the Books.
The Battle of the Books is hard, but it's also fun to participate. Now we have Caitlin with a story on Simone Biles.
Thanks, Savannah. Hi, my name is Caitlin. Did you know that 21-year-old Simone Biles, an Olympic gold medalist, had a rough start to her life, but it got better and better as she grew up? In 2016, Simone Biles, an Olympic gold medalist, went all around for floor, beam, vault, and bars. With all her recent success, you would never know that her early life was quite challenging. Because of her mom's substance abuse, Simone was in and out of foster care. At 5 years old, she went to live with her grandparents. She started in gymnastics when she was only 6 years old and started training for the Olympics when she was 15 years old. Her formal training consisted of 32 hours a week, 6 days a week, but Simone would also visit the gym alone on Sundays to fine-tune her skills and routines. According to Biography.com, Simone Biles is the first U.S. gymnast in the world to win 4 Olympic gold medals in a row in 2016. According to Biography.com, Simone Biles is also the best gymnast in the world. With all her great ethic, that's no surprise. Back to you, Savannah.
Well, I never knew that Simone's life was so stressful when she was younger.
With all she has accomplished, I never thought her life was so difficult. Last but not least, we have Savannah with cyberbullying.
Thanks, Caitlin. Why do children, even sometimes adults, cyberbully? Help me have people stop cyberbullying. What is cyberbullying, you may ask? Cyberbullying is a type of bullying on social media sites, and the percentage is awful. The percentage is 29% on YouTube, 22% on Instagram, 39% on Facebook, and 22% on Twitter. Teens who report being cyberbullied say it was because of appearance, intelligence, race, financial status, religion, etc. Girls are much more likely to be victims of cyberbullying than boys. Girls also dominate social media while boys tend to play video games. In a sample study, over 14% admit to cyberbullying another person, with spreading rumors online via text or email being the most common form of bullying. Cyberbullying has led to many children and adults committing suicide. We need to work together to stop this. 1 million children were harassed, threatened, or subjected to other forms of cyberbullying on Facebook during the past year. How can we stop them, you may wonder? You should encourage your parents and guardians to spend at least 15 minutes per day talking to their kids. Don't comment on it and tell an adult right away. Also tell your parents to report it to the social media site. If you're being cyberbullied, just know you're not alone. It's wrong for you to be cyberbullied, so don't be afraid to use your voice. Back to you, Caitlin.
I didn't know how bad the percentages were.
The percentages are terrible.
That's all the time that we have today. This is WGHT signing off.
This is WLNH reporting live from the Londonderry Access Center.
Hi, my name is Ryan.
I'm Liam.
And we are WLNH. Today we have many intriguing stories.
First, we have Kaylee doing animal abuse,
Nathan with NASA.
Kelsey with animal shelters,
Liam comparing the 2008 Celtics and the 2018 Celtics.
Ryan with Lori Hernandez.
Matt is doing Donald Trump's accomplishments.
Last, we have Connor doing the history of the U.S. Air Force. Now over to Kayla with a heartbreaking story on animal abuse.
Thanks, Liam. According to New Hampshire Humane Society, most cases of animal abuse are never even reported, leaving many animals suffering or worse. Unlike violent crimes against people, cases of animal abuse are not counted by state or federal agencies, making it difficult to calculate exactly how common they are. However, we can use a common sense approach in dealing with this very sad situation. The Governor's Committee of Humane Treatment suggests that, first, everyone be responsible and report any cases of animal cruelty or neglect that they see. Second, we need to have strict laws in place. And finally, perpetrators must be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. According to Citizens Count New Hampshire, our state could become the next to create an animal cruelty registry, which would create a public list of citizens over 18 years old who have been convicted of animal abuse offenses. Not only is it our state, but many, including Hawaii, Indiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, Virginia, Washington, and many more. A recent case in New Hampshire involved a woman who had dozens of filthy and sick Great Danes living in her Wolfboro, New Hampshire mansion. She was convicted of animal cruelty but will serve no jail time. Instead, she must pay nearly $800,000. If you see animal abuse, you should report it. My name is Kayla. Please help animal abuse come to an end. Back to you, Liam.
I didn't know that most cases of animal abuse don't get reported.
Neither did I. Now over to Nathan with NASA.
Thanks, Ryan. 3, 2, 1, blast off. NASA sends another rocket into the new mysterious universe looking for something that will change history forever. It all began on July 29, 1958, when the National Aeronautics and Space Act was put into law. This act's main purpose was intended for research of flight inside and outside of our Earth's atmosphere, Time magazine noted. Before NASA, many branches of the U.S. military were researching space exploration. However, there was conflict because each branch had their own ideas of what should be explored. NASA wanted to put all these ideas and research into one agency. After NASA was created, they were ready to accomplish something big, something that would have a major impact on the world. They needed to set foot on the moon to win the space race. So on July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and his two partners of the Apollo 11 mission set off on their journey. Armstrong had later become the first man on the moon and said his soon-to-be famous line, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." The three men left behind one symbolic item, the American flag. NASA was proud that they achieved the ultimate goal, but they were not stopping there. Their ambitious minds wanted to keep discovering. So on April 11, 1970, Swihart, Hayes, and Lovell set off on their Apollo 13 mission. But on their way, one of the oxygen tanks exploded. They had to orbit the moon and return to Earth without successfully landing. This mission was sadly a failure. NASA continues to experience its ups and downs today, but they are making more positive advances, and their knowledge of the universe is increasing every day. NASA hopes that in the future, they will be able to send a robot to Mars, visit an asteroid that is as old as the universe, and much more. Back to you, Ryan.
It is sad that Apollo 13 failed.
That's upsetting. Now over to Kelsey with animal shelters.
Thanks, Liam. Did you know there are two different kinds of animal shelters? Traditional and open emission shelters, and no-kill or rescue shelters. The open emission shelters accept all animals regardless of health, temperament, or space available. Sadly, when these shelters run out of room, they kill animals that are old, sick, or dangerous to make room for more animals. A rescue shelter or a no-kill shelter doesn't kill healthy or treatable animals, but may turn away animals that are considered dangerous to public safety. According to DoSomething.org, 7.6 million animals enter the animal shelter and 1.5 million animals get killed nationwide every year. Isn't this sad? A rescue shelter may be founded by the government, local humane societies, or private individuals. A good shelter must have knowledgeable staff, veterinary care, and sick wards for isolating sick animals. If you are considering adopting a pet from an animal shelter, make sure it is clean and you feel welcome. There should be also a quiet room where you can meet with a dog or cat you are considering adopting. If you need more information about adopting an animal from an animal shelter near you, contact your local ASPCA. Back to you, Liam.
It is sad that 7.6 million animals enter animal shelters and 1.5 million animals get killed.
That is sad and very cruel. Now we have Matthew doing Donald Trump's accomplishments.
Thank you, Ryan. Did you know that Donald Trump had 178 accomplishments in his first 385 days? According to Louise Jacobson, a writer for PolitiFacts, one of his biggest accomplishments came early when nearly 1.7 million new jobs were created, and the unemployment rate fell to 4.1%, the lowest rate in nearly 16 years. According to National Public Radio, Donald Trump created more jobs in his first year of presidency than Barack Obama.
The President signed a Veterans Educational Act which provides benefits to veterans and their families, including tuition, fees, books, and housing. Also, he started a VA hotline and added $2.1 billion in funds for the Veterans Choice Program for health care. In September, Donald Trump signed an order to detect entry into the United States by terrorists and other security threats through Homeland Security. Anyone here illegally will be arrested and sent back to their own country. He is the first president that declared a nationwide health emergency on opioids. The Department of Health and Human Services laid out a strategy and $500 million in funding to fight this crisis. Another amazing thing is that he donated his entire salary as promised during his election. I hope after you hear this, you are encouraged to have more faith in him, our president. Back to you, Ryan.
I did not know that Donald Trump made 178 accomplishments in 385 days.
It is great that he's taking care of our veterans. Now over to Ryan with Lori Hernandez.
Thanks, Liam. I'm going to be talking about a fun topic, Lori Hernandez. Lori is 17 years old. She lives in New Jersey with her mom, dad, and siblings, Marcus and Jelsa, when she is not training. Lori started gymnastics in 2012 when she was 5 years old. According to Lori, she said that she has had the same gymnastics teacher, Maggie Haney, since she started. Lori trains 6 times a week. She has 2 days that are half days. On those half days, she says that is when I find time to do my schoolwork. The reason why she goes to practice 6 times is because she trains so that she can do her best at her meets. In 2016, she was the youngest gymnast on the U.S. women's gymnastics team. The U.S. team won a gold medal in the team all-around. Lori competed in vault, beam, and floor exercises. She won an individual silver medal on beam with a score of 15.3. Lori got onto the gymnastics team by training her best. To get onto the women's gymnastics team, you have to be able to work hard and put a lot of time and commitment into what you love to do. So the next time your coach says to practice, do it if you want to be in the Olympics someday. Back to you, Liam.
I didn't know that Lori had the same coach since she started gymnastics.
I did. Now over to Liam comparing the 2008 Celtics and the 2018 Celtics.
Oh, thank you, Ryan. 2018 Boston Celtics are going to win the NBA Finals this year. Last time the Celtics won the NBA Finals was in 2008. There are many similarities between the two teams. The main players on the two teams are comparable. The primary scoring option are Paul Pierce in 2008 and Kyrie Irving in 2018. They both could create their own shot and were clutch in the end of the game when it really matters. The secondary scorers and the person that sets the defense are Kevin Garnett in 2008 and Al Horford in 2018. The spot-up shooters and clutch shooters are Ray Allen in 2008, Jason Tatum in 2018. The two teams produce about the same on defense and offense. The 2018 Celtics offensive rating is 106.7 and its defensive rating is 101.7. 2008 Celtics offensive rating was 103.2 and its defensive rating was 106.9. 2018 Celtics bench is better than the 2008 Celtics bench. 2008 Celtics superstars were better than the 2018 Celtics superstars, but the 2018 Celtics team is younger and will recover faster than the 2008 Celtics players in the playoffs. The 2018 Boston Celtics can win the NBA Finals this year. The main three players on the 2018 Celtics are good at different aspects of the game, and it's hard to guard them all. The bench has many players that could start if they're on a different team. 2018 Celtics are young, so if they don't win this year, they can win next year. Back to you, Ryan.
I cannot believe that the 2008 Celtics and the 2018 Celtics are similar.
I can. Now over to Connor doing the history of the U.S. Air Force.
Thank you, Liam. Did you know that the Air Force's F-117 fighter uses aerodynamics discovered from bumblebee flight? The Wright brothers invented the airplane. Because of this, the military was able to create a new service, the Air Force. The Air Force was invented on September 18, 1947. The Air Force's motto is fly, fight, win. The Air Force is able to do their jobs on the ground as a policeman or woman, in the air as a pilot, and now with technology in space by operating satellites. The U.S. Air Force has been protecting us for 71 years. Through those years, the Air Force has helped win many wars. The Air Force learns from their mistakes to do better the next time that they fight. The U.S. Air Force is a military service that protects and defends us from attack. They made the Air Force so airmen can fight and work from the air, space, and cyberspace easier. I think the Air Force is the best military service branch because my mom and dad both worked for the Air Force for many years. Back to you, Ryan.
I didn't know that the Air Force was made so airmen could work from the air, space, and cyberspace.
Neither did I.
That is all the time we have today.
This is WLNH signing off.
WBTY reporting live from Londonderry Access Center.
Hi, I'm Zach.
Hi, I'm Sadie,
and we are reporting from WBTY. On this special edition of WBTY, we have a Vic on Tesla Motors,
Audrey on Children to Disrespect,
Madison on floods,
Jack with a story on President Donald Trump,
Sadie on ocean animal endangerment,
Zach on the history of the 24-hour Le Mans race.
Boy, do we have a good show today, don't we, Sadie?
Yes, we do, Zach. Let's do it.
Here's a Vic on Tesla Motors.
Thank you, Zach. Hi, I'm Avik. Do you know the world could run out of petrol? Tesla, a newer car company, will help you prepare for that moment when the world realizes there is no more petrol. Tesla specializes in making electric cars that can also be fully autonomous. To help you choose which model will fit your family the best, I will review 3 high-tech Teslas, the Model 3, the Model X, and the Model S. The Model 3 is a sedan with the storage of an Acura MDX, which is 15 cubic feet. The base price of a Model 3 is $35,000, but the most expensive package is $45,000. Here's what most people are waiting for, the performance stats. 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds. For all the viewers who have long commutes, on a full charge, your Tesla will travel 220 to 310 miles. All Teslas have a 5-star rating in every category. The Model X is a very expensive SUV. It starts at $67,800 and ranges to $135,300. The Model X is the quickest SUV according to Tesla. The Tesla's all-electric powertrain delivers performance in good and bad weather. The Model X is powered by a dual motor which powers the quickest acceleration of any SUV on the road, from 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. For maximum capability, the Model X comes standard with all-wheel drive. The Model X has best-in-class storage with 88 cubic feet. If you have a large family, they're seating for up to 7 adults. Fun fact, the Model X is built off of the next car I will review, the Model S. The Model S is a sports sedan. It has room for 5 adults and 2 children. Because the car doesn't have a transmission or a drive shaft, so the car will come with 2 rear-facing seats in the trunk. The Model S is the safest sedan with 5-star ratings in the front, side, and side pole. It's the quickest car on the road with industry-leading performance. It goes 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. The Model S is also in the lead with range 335 miles and storage 31.6 cubic feet. It has a lot of car for a big price. The base model is $74,500 and the best model is $131,200. Back to you, Zach.
Wow, that is helpful that the Tesla Model X has 88 cubic feet of storage.
I didn't know any of that. Now until Audrey with Children to Disrespect.
Thank you, Sadie. A recent study conducted by the Scientific World Journal examined students' misbehaviors in the classroom and identified the most unacceptable behaviors based on teachers' perspectives. According to the teachers, the most common and disruptive problem behaviors were talking out of turn, followed by inattentiveness, daydreaming, and idleness. It made me wonder, how do students feel about these behaviors? So I asked 2 of my classmates, Nathan and Ryan, their thoughts on this recent study. Ryan, having been in an elementary classroom for 5 years now, in your experience, is it hard for you when other students exhibit inappropriate behaviors, and what do you do to stay focused?
I would try to ignore them, and I would tell the teacher to let the kids know.
Nathan, do you think inappropriate behaviors happen more often in upper elementary grades than lower grades, and why?
More in the lower grades because they aren't as responsible and don't have the experience in the classroom.
Ryan, why do you think inappropriate behaviors occur?
I think they occur because kids want attention, but they make it a negative attention.
Nathan, can we as students do anything to stop these behaviors from happening?
We can tell our parents to treat us with more discipline and be more strict.
Thank you for your thoughtful answers, Nathan and Ryan. We as children are the only people who can fix this. Children are not only doing it to each other, they are also doing it to adults. Kids, teachers, and adults are in this and you can't back away now. If your child or student is being a pain and is being rude to you, you don't walk away and ignore it, you stand up and correct the child. 20 years ago, people would correct their child, but now they let it slide and it's not okay. The changes to everyday human life become changes to everyday human behavior. Children learn from their parents, and whatever the parents do, they assume that's all right. One of the things children learn from their parents is disrespect. The problem is going to keep growing if it is not addressed. Another thing children learn from their parents is how to deal with anger. How kids learn how to deal with anger is to act out. We can fix this. Back to you, Sadie.
I agree with Audrey. I think it's up to us to fix this problem.
I agree. We're the only ones who can fix it.
Now Madison with floods.
Thank you, Sadie. Has your neighborhood ever been flooded? According to Florida, Pennsylvania Insurance Company, floods are the most common natural disaster in the United States. They are a dangerous effect from a large storm that destroys homes and lives. Flooding is an overflow of water onto dry land, which can be only a few inches of water or up to the rooftop. Flash floods can also occur suddenly. According to FEMA, floods can occur anywhere, but some areas have greater risks, such as the coastline during hurricane season or the Midwest during spring and summer months. Quickly thawing snow or several days of rain can cause flooding. During a flood, the most important thing is to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your pets. To prepare for a flood is the Red Cross suggests to have a communication plan, and to leave the area immediately. Listen to your radio or TV for up-to-date information. I hope this information will help you if you ever encounter flooding. Back to you, Sadie.
Wow, that is interesting that floods can occur anywhere.
It's also a little frightening that they can happen anywhere.
Now we have Jack with a story about President Donald Trump.
Thank you, Sadie. Donald J. Trump became the 45th President of the United States on January 20th, 2017, but who was he before? Donald Trump was born on June 14th, 1946 in Queens, New York, and was the fourth of 5 children. Growing up, Donald Trump was an energetic kid whose parents sent him to the New York Military Academy at the age of 13. While there, he became a star athlete and student leader. At age 18, he went to Fordham University and eventually graduated from University of Pennsylvania with a degree in economics. Donald Trump followed his father Frederick's footsteps and began a career in real estate in the 70s. Donald Trump began involved in building projects in Manhattan. Over the next 20 years, Donald Trump built an empire. He opened the Grand Hyatt Hotel in New York in 1980, making him the city's best-known developer. According to biography.com, in 2004, he started his own reality television series called The Apprentice. This series led to other television series called Celebrating the Apprentice. According to a September 2017 Forbes estimate that Donald Trump has a net worth of $3.1 billion. He began exploring political career in early 2000, but it wasn't until 2016 that Donald Trump became the official Republican nominee. I hope you have enjoyed learning some fun facts about our new president. Back to you, Zach.
Now it's surprising that Donald Trump was a billionaire before he was president.
I wish I was a billionaire.
Now we have Sadie with a report on ocean animal endangerment.
Thank you, Zach. Did you know that ocean animals are dying because of us? The 3 top endangered sea animals are the hawksbill turtle, the Steller sea lion, and the Vacuda porpoise. Did you know that the most dangerous part of a turtle's life is when they make their journey to the ocean? While they are trying to get into the ocean, crabs and flocks of seagulls prey on them. Like many sea turtles, hawksbill turtles are endangered mostly because of humans. Hawksbill eggs are eaten all around the world. They are often killed for their interesting and outstanding looking shells. I really hope that humans will stop eating turtle eggs and eat other foods instead. As recently as 1960, Western Alaska was home to more than 175,000 Steller sea lion adults. Over the years, though, the large population has declined over 80%. According to Point Blue website, Steller sea lions have become endangered because humans hunt them for meat, oils, and skins. Did you know that human fishing nets killed an estimated 20,000 sea lions? The sea lions were also killed for eating fish at aquaculture facilities or fish farms. That was not their fault. Today, their biggest threats are boat and ship strikes, contaminants, and water pollution, which is destroying their habitat.
Vacuda, a porpoise whose Spanish name means small cow population, has declined in 20 to 40% in the last few decades. Nets set for fish and shrimp kill more porpoises than are currently being born. The almost invisible nets trap the poor porpoises and drown them. I hope that the population increases in the next few years. Ocean animals are dying because of us. Now we need to undo our mistakes. Back to you, Zach.
It's surprising that turtles' most dangerous part of their life is making their journey to the ocean.
I know it's my story. Now here's Zach with the history of the 24-hour Le Mans race.
Thank you, Sadie. Would you ever sit in a hot car for 24 hours straight going speeds and decks of 100 miles an hour? Well, that's what happens in the 24-hour Le Mans Super Endurance Race. The race is held annually every year since 1923 in Le Mans, France, and is one of the most important automobile races in the world. The race is one leg of the Triple Crown Motorsports. The other two events are the Indy 500 and the Monaco Grand Prix. As if racing a 24-hour Grand Prix isn't enough, the heat gets over 115 degrees in the cabins of some cars. The race course is also very long. In 2017, the race was held June 17th through 18th at Circuit de la Sarthe in Le Mans, France. Porsche claimed their overall 19th victory with a team of 3 drivers in the Porsche 919 Hybrid. If you don't know what a hybrid is a car that works with both electric and a combustion engine. Up to 85% of the lap time is at full throttle, which puts a lot of stress at the engines. That's why during the race, one of the most important ways that time is made up is during the pit stops. 3 important parts of every pit stop are refueling, driver change, and tire change. Only the best and most experienced drivers can enter in this race. They are talented and have to be able to have amazing driving skills, focus, and treat their bodies well. Wow, it does take a talented athlete and car to compete in this super endurance race. Back to you, Sadie.
It must be uncomfortable for the cabin of the cars to get over 150 degrees.
That's all for now, and thanks for watching from WBTY.